Right, welcome back. Last time, we went ahead and... I think conquered Knights? That was the last time, wasn't it? Yeah. Went ahead and kicked Preval out of the Holy Roman Empire. Got a nice little port for myself now. Bohemia is no longer a landlocked nation. By some definition of landlocked. Yeah, anyway. Right. Let's get on with it. Shall we? Alright, just finished the sword. How about you hand it back, Stettin? The Kingdom of Italy is still formally part of Shadow Kingdom. Yeah, most of the states inside Italy have left. The exceptions are Savoia, since our capital actually happens to be considered part of the Kingdom of Lotharingia, so technically not in Italy. It also means I'm going to need to find a new elector, since the old one in Lucca is now gone. Well, I don't need Lucca anymore, so... Let's pick someone I can somewhat trust. So someone that's not too strong, right? Oh. Let's wait a day until I can send another offer. Nuremberg is right adjacent to me, so... And they're not too strong. Yeah. Grant Electorate and then ally them. Of course, for right now, they're backing Maizen, but not backing anyone else, so I don't really care. Oh yeah, right, I gotta get the next admin tech, and that unlocks me a new idea group. Which one it is isn't really important at the moment, so I can take my time with picking. Right, so I can either take an administrative idea group or a military idea group. Since I've already recently taken a trade, diplomatic style idea group, it's probably not a good idea to grab that. Among the administrative ideas, there's Empire. It's a possibility. I can take Scholasticism or State Religion. Maybe instead economics is kind of a given. I have to take that at some point soon. Well, if I go here, leadership ideas is not bad. Getting an extra pip everywhere is actually pretty good. However, manpower and reduced army costs will actually help, as well as better man. This stuff gives me a lot of manpower to work with. This is reinforced speed. I'll take leadership. Though I won't do anything with it yet. I'll probably wait until I'm up to date in military tech again, or try anything. Battlefield ambulance. This is... Most of the dead in a medieval battle died lingering deaths after the fighting. Battlefield ambulances were first used in the siege of Malaga. Emergency ambulancias would travel across the battlefield carrying wounded troops to medical treatment tests, giving them the chance to be treated and recover if their wounds allowed it. Mill tactics plus 0.25. Cavalry shot plus 0.25. Huh. Let them read it. What do I care? The exercises was actually quite nice, it gets me more trade efficiency. And lowers tech and advisor costs. Probably watch it now. Yeesh. Anyway, heavy ship guns. Although cannons have been used on ships as early as the 100 Years' War, they saw limited use due to their heavy size. Yeah. Prince John II of Portugal had his ships outfitted with a reinforced gun deck that could hold the heavy guns, allowing him to bring more guns with him on board ship. I can steal maps now! Navy morale plus 0.25. Of course, stealing maps is useless since it only steals by region. Regions are small, and I have to have a unit adjacent to that region. Even if it is a small ship, it's still not exactly easy to do. If I can afford that, then you can almost certainly afford it when the time comes. However, I also am aware that corruption is decreasing at a decent pace. So I'm gonna wait on grabbing the idea until then. Oh, Death Martian now has enough dev to make free city status. Alright, I'll give it to them. It's better than nothing. Right, declare a war, take up the imps. I won't be able to call them back. Saxony won't help much, they're a little busy with recovering their manpower since they recently had to deal with a revolt. Heavily restrict looting, this is definitely a war of conquest. I don't really need more cash. Public show of repentance. Let them have the relaxation of levies. Makes them slightly less likely to... Sad. Makes them slightly less likely to ask for more. Wheel-lock muskets. Wheel-lock muskets used a flint and steel to create a spark that lit their gunpowder. Since they did not rely on matches, wheel-locks could be fired even in the rain, making them far more reliable. However, the guns had a bad reputation. Since they did not leave a telltale glow like the matchlocks did, wheel-locks were the preferred choice for assassins. Right, land morale plus 0.1. Combat whisk plus 2. Infantry fire plus 0.1, cavalry fire plus 0.1, and enables new infantry and artillery types. I'll take the artillery type, I will not take the new infantry type just yet. Since my current one is already pretty good. It has 14 pips. The new ones have 16, so it's not that much of an improvement. Additionally, as soon as I take it, my infantry will lose all the morale. Heck, my artillery is low morale at the moment, but for them it's not as important. Not nearly as important as it is with the infantry. Right, so how much does this cost? 564. I've got 1,250 administrative points. Each idea costs less than 300, so I can just take both. Right, so. Okay. Integration. It is wiser to embrace many cultures, allowing the most talented of our subjects to serve the state regardless of their cultural origin. Plus one max promote culture. Centralization. If we centralize the state, then we will find it easier to advance the ideas and gender of the center over the regions. Plus 10 max centralization. And as a bonus, monthly autonomy change minus 10%. Or, the equivalent, resting point for autonomy minus 10%. Also, the new tech, Private Watchman. Frustrated with the limited scope of the police, private individuals seeking justice began hiring watchmen to work for pay. Plus one state. So, places like, one of the famous ones in the US would be the Pinkerton Detective Agency. Yeah, I think we're good. Just take up dams and have them release Styria. They will be independent. And that's another state for the HRE. And HRE is now one state stronger. The weak and incompetent King Vladislav gradually allowed the nobility to take back power they had lost during the Hussite Wars. On March 11th, 1500, Czech Council adopted a new municipal constitution and limited royal power. Vladislav signed it in 1502. I don't like that 10% tech cost. Fine. Honor the greater nobles, and also the lesser nobles. Aha! Pope's authority is moderate. The new Pope is acceptable to us. Request an ecumenical council. The Catholic Church was ordained by God, made up of mortal men, expected to be perfect, but sometimes falling short of faith. Pious Catholics understood this, but occasionally the Church could go too far. Right, call General Council. Let's see what we can do. The Pope alone has the power to appoint new cardinals, and by tradition, most popes did so early in their papacies to replace cardinals who had died, to acknowledge particularly devout theologians, or to reward supporters and family members. Popes will call a consistory and announce the names of the new cardinals who would receive the cap and ring of their new rank in a public ceremony. Though canon law set the number of cardinals to 20, this limit was ignored by popes, who saw the need to appoint like-minded bishops, and was later raised to 70. The new cardinals swelling the ranks of the college meant that each cardinal was relatively less important, at least until their number dwindled once more. Many popes took advantage of this power to enrich their family, appointing nephews and other close relatives as cardinals, in addition to the usual number of cardinals raised from former colleagues and countrymen. Although frowned upon, this practice was largely ignored. Let's actually lower reform desire. I don't need more papal influence from a cardinal. Papal sponsor, moderate. As a leader of one of the world's greatest religions, the Pope intervened in European politics by acting as a neutral arbiter of disputes. Had great influence over Catholic rulers and could command a legion of priests. This made the Pope powerful indeed, and many Catholic countries spent great sums to influence papal conclaves in the hopes of getting a sympathetic Pope in the Vatican. No, I don't want alliances. Our support was invaluable in the election of the current Pope, and he is likely to feel a debt toward us as a consequence. We can only hope he reigns for many years. The weaker the Pope's authority, the weaker this modifier becomes. Papal authority is calculated from nominal, under 300, to strong, over 500, using several factors. Yeah, it's the Papal authority system. The bonuses for a moderate papal sponsor: +1 extra stat point per year, missionary strength plus 8.8%, yearly prestige +1, advisor costs minus 20%, +1 diplo rep, well, diplo relation, and minus 20% aggressive expansion. Would have been nice to have when I actually attacked Austria, because yeah, then I could have actually taken 2 provinces without getting. No, it would have been still somewhat bad, but not nearly as bad. General Church Council happened to us. Papal State has that flag. Yeah. Right. Gets more prestige. Church matters. Delegates brought with them criticism and ideas, but although church councils could overrule a sitting pope inside church doctrine, the pope was still the leader of the church. As a result, the pope controlled discussions with the council by introducing topics to it. Although this was by no means a promise that the issue would be resolved, only that would be discussed. What topic should His Holiness emphasize? Right, most of the church reform desire is simony. So let's try to reform that. After Clement V reorganized the church, the Pope gained the right to appoint bishops to their benefices. When a bishop died, the benefice was returned to the Pope. An unforeseen effect of this was to encourage simony, repayment in return for church titles. This practice excluded peasants from the highest ranks of the church and placed a burden of debt on bishops that caused many to tax their tenants harshly. As this practice grew widespread, it caused a backlash against the church. It may require several reforms to eradicate this entrenched practice. The higher church reform desire is, the more effective reforms will be. However, it requires papal influence to push the harshest reforms forward. Let's do stringent rules. 48% towards simony abolished. It will raise unrest in the Papal States, but well, what do I care what goes on over there? If we can reform it enough, well, I figure we'll not just figure reform will lower the effect of simony on reform desire. That might be the case. I mean, it is M&T. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. Of course, judging by how reform desire doesn't seem to have changed, I figure what's more likely is that once it hits 100, that quantity, the entire effect disappears on reform desire. Nor can, or, well, either that or it starts to decay. And the event, for certain, cannot be called anymore. Church reformed on untrained priests. Although large cities often had cathedral schools where future priests received a classical education alongside noble scions, more rural parishes often had little access to schooling and little money to send a priest away for several years. Instead, local nobles appointed priests, and these priests trained their successors personally. This was simple, but led to uneducated priests who sometimes couldn't even read Latin. It was no wonder that these rural parishes could become centers of heresy. In theory, the fault lay in local bishops whose task was to oversee the priests of their diocese, but in practice they were often suffering from the same problems. It may require several reforms to eradicate this entrenched practice. The higher church reform desire is, the more effective these reforms will be. However, it takes papal influence to push the hardest reforms possible. Again, I can actually check papal reform desire, at least sources. Well, I don't think it was a major source, but might as well reform as much as possible. Yeah, I'd say it's good to stop here now. Yeah, so. I'm now rival to France, since I can no longer rival Poland. Oh well. At least this means that I might actually be able to ally Spain. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. I'm now centralizing the state even further. And I've just lost... Oh no, I did not lose vassal upkeep, but... Huh. I lost a diplomatic relation somewhere. Oh, General Church Council. Right. General Church Council is going on. So yeah, I'm dealing with reforming the Papacy at the moment, as Papal Controller. Not much has changed here compared to last time. At least over here in this part of Europe. I've also actually lost Voronezh. Voronezh and Kharkov. More likely Voronezh. Yeah, Voronezh. So Rome is growing. Crimea is a one-province minor. The White Horde is disappearing. Spain is defeated Granada and is now attacking Al-Jazir. Yeah. I even own parts of Algeria already. Only has to own Ceuta. Portugal's just been quiet the entire time. What is our primary culture? Portuguese. Really. De Portugal. Yeah. I don't see much change over here, really. As for me, what happened, I've been investing into Poznan. Additionally, in Poznan and Roklaiv and attracting skilled artisans. And I'm trying to get steel, since that's what Mead is producing, and I eventually plan on conquering them as well. In fact, I think I'll go ahead and accept Oh, right. I have to state them in order to accept the culture. I'll be getting to that later then. There's no missions that I want to complete at the moment. Right, I conquered Obda-Ems from Austria. Troy of Arche attacked them for Sungao, so I said, you know what, might as well. I also got them to release Styria, so it's another member of the Empire. Which will help maintain Imperial authority in the face of there being 7 provinces, most of them owned by France, outside of the Empire, and 3 heretic princes. Yeah, I say most of them owned by France because the one that isn't owned by France is Barroy, subject of France. So, technically correct. I am not able to attack France at the moment. They are terrifying. Second greatest power in the world, own development over 2,000. For reference, I'm over here at number 7. My own development is 540. Their ranking is literally 4 times my own development. I would be insane to try anything, short of bringing the entire HRE in with me. Yeah, let's not deal with them. Also, when I checked via the rivalry screen, their army was 130%. Had an extra plus 130% power. Yeah. Oh yeah, one last thing. Hungary conquered this province from Wallachia. It seems they're trying again to conquer more. Yeah, it looks disgusting, but okay. I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye.